Welcome back to the 343 Football Podcast. Your host Jaffa once again, and I'm joined by the usual trio of Odama, Ali, and Doug.
Hi there, you're right.
Yeah, how's it?
Yeah, not bad. Decent weekend of action as a tune
Yeah,
fan.
You guys must be happy.
Yeah, man.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely in good spirits. Newcastle United are not just won the 2 out of the last 3, but they're actually playing in a more watchable way these days. And one fixture that's been incredibly watchable in recent years has been Manchester City against Liverpool. Obviously, it's always had title-deciding ramifications. This year, though, you had Liverpool having lost two of their most recent home games after having gone, I think, since April 2017 without defeat at Anfield in the league. And when you talk about the first two opposition, it was Burnley and it was Burnley and Brighton. So it's kind of like when Man City roll into town and they win 4-1, nobody's really shocked. But I just want to kind of get into that match because there were so many interesting things, high-profile mistakes, good attacking play, and Liverpool again. A depleted squad. I know that they reinforced in the transfer window just towards the end, getting those 2 centre backs in. Obviously, neither of them played, so they were still doing the thing with Fabinho and centre back. And I always like to come to the fan of the team for the match that we're discussing. So I'll come to Ali first. Ali, just give us your overall thoughts about not just the performance, but what's your thoughts so far on Liverpool's season and where can it be salvaged at this point?
Liverpool lost Man City 4-1. Credit goes to Man City. Credit goes to Pep Guardiola.
Credit goes to Alisson.
Yeah, credit goes to Alisson, really, if you want to really say that and interrupt what I was about to say. You got to give Guardiola the credit. Klopp's gave his ass uppings to Guardiola. It's about time Klopp took some ass uppings and took some L's. So, yeah, what else can you say? At half-time, Guardiola changed up to a 4-4-2 and just put pressure on that back four, really.
Are you not angry at Alisson? You're not angry at how he conducted himself? He was thinking he was Ronaldinho in net
Not
with that
really,
ball
mate.
control.
Not really. I'm not really
The plethora
angry.
of passes.
He's
Really?
Hasn't Alisson made some howlers already, kind of similar to those?
Yeah, but
First
He
season
has,
he came.
but he bounced back so quickly from those. I remember the one where he tried to do the Cruyff turn against Leicester, and then he bounced back.
it was against Iheanacho. I remember that goal went
Yeah,
through.
I mean, after that he went on to be probably the best keeper in the world on form the season they won the league, and the season they won the Champions
I
League.
agree.
So if there's any keeper that you can kind of bank on not letting it get to them, it's Alisson, really. So yeah, obviously he'll be disappointed with himself, but I doubt he's going to be kicking himself too much about it.
It's a bit of a rite of passage for any great keeper in the Premier League, in my opinion. You have to go through those really crappy spells. Prime example is De Gea. Do you know what I mean?
Well, De Gea spells lasting about 2 years.
He's been through a lot of.
I don't know if you
He's
can call
been
it
through a
spell
lot
anymore.
of bad spells.
I don't think you can call it.
Why
spell.
are we even talking about De Gea? This was about Man City versus Liverpool. Like, Dad, with all due respect, let's not talk about Manchester
Yeah,
United.
let's talk about it.
All right, okay. Let's talk about the match, because I thought, I'm not going to lie, when Gundogan missed the penalty, I thought, this is Liverpool's night. Things are going to them. Then obviously Gundogan scored, and then you guys got the penalty, and I thought, okay, actually, you know what, momentum is switching to Liverpool, and then I genuinely believe the only thing, yes, Klopp's tactics were a bit wrong. You have to obviously see his the defense and what the players he was playing. They had their heads down, but the Alisson fuck up, let's say, the Alisson absolute, I don't know what he was doing, really ruined it for the rest of the players. And I think 4-1 was flattering for Man City. I don't think you guys should have lost that by that margin. Personally.
No, but a loss is still a loss, and Man City deserved to win that game. Regardless of Alisson's boo-boos, Man City was still beating us. You just need to
I
remember
agree.
that.
I think, Dowd, if you look back at the game, you're saying momentum shifted to Liverpool. I don't remember really a point in time in the second half where momentum was with Liverpool. Man City were piling on the pressure from the minute that second half started.
Man City scored an early goal in the second
exactly.
half. Am I correct in that as
yeah,
well?
they did. And I don't want to say Liverpool were fortunate to get a penalty. Salah definitely was fouled by Diaz, got on the wrong side of him. He embellished the contact, but it's what you have to do these days in football to get the penalty. I mean, if he doesn't go down, he's not getting that penalty. But at 1-1, I thought Liverpool still really looked the second best. Didn't look that bad, but at the same time, they just haven't been able to find a system that works with the injuries that they have, and that's not really it's not a slight on Klopp's tactical nous, because come on, like, their injuries are ridiculous at this point.
I don't know. He makes some strange decisions, or like, yeah, Liverpool have injuries, but he's playing too many players out of position. So our midfield
what can he do?
basically
What can he do?
taken. Well,
No, but what
it up.
can he do?
No, but like change the formation up, do something different. He keeps playing the 4-3-3.
So what would you do?
What would I do? Man, I would do a lot. First of all, I would probably get out of the dressing room, except Dowd, I might make him a shoe cleaner or something. I might get you to polish my shoes or whatnot. No, but in all seriousness, he's brought in players which have played regularly, like Kabak and the geezer from, where is it?
Ben Davies.
Preston.
Tsimikas.
Davies, yeah. And you have Tsimikas
Davies,
who can play left back. So what I would have done is, personally, I would go with 3-4-3. That's total football way. Switch it up, play a back three, use the wing backs which you have Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, have Thiago and Fabinho actually in the midfield trying to dictate that. Then you have your front three.
Wait, in a 3-4-3, who's your five at the back?
It's three at the back, so it'll be Henderson.
Wing backs, just categorise them.
Yeah. So it would be Henderson in the middle with Kabak and Davies, possibly. We'll have Tsimikas on the left side because he can't defend.
That's
and then you have as your wing backs, you'll have Alexander-Arnold, you'll have Robertson, then you have Thiago and Fabinho in midfield, and you have your front three up front.
Do you remember back in the day of the entertainers with Newcastle with Keegan, where they would just aim to outscore the opponent and defence wasn't really the priority?
This is what Liverpool should do right now.
I think that formation sounds like it would be one hell of a team to play on FIFA, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't know how well it would work in real life. Do you not reckon that back line lacks a significant amount of pace, like, for recovery? I feel like that could have been punished quite heavily against a team like Manchester City.
Brendan Rodgers used this in 2015 with Liverpool then. He used it, you put Emre Can in the back three with Sakho and Skirtle, or Lovren and Skirtle and Emre Can.
I do actually remember.
He left Emre Can in there. He left Emre Can there to dictate the play. So he could go forward, be part of the midfield and come back and be part of the back three as well. So, change it up a bit if he can, but Klopp's a bit stubborn in that sense, he does have his flaws.
I can't speak for the Brighton and Burnley performances because I didn't watch them too closely, but I disagree with Dowd. I don't think Liverpool were that bad tactically. I think the Alisson mistakes were so decisive. Like, if you think about, big matches, if one team blitzes the other, like I remember a few years ago when Liverpool and the Rodgers were like 4-0 up against Arsenal in 20 minutes or something like that. Like, that's a game where you get your tactics wrong and you get absolutely smashed. But the Man City Liverpool game was a lot closer than that, and the mistakes were ultimately.
Oh, so you agree with me? I thought you just said you disagree with me.
No, well, I just disagreed with you. I said that Liverpool played well. I think their tactics were all right. I just think that the Alisson mistakes killed their hopes of getting into that match. Obviously, the 4-4-2 switch by.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I think that's what Dowd was saying.
Yeah, Dowd did say that.
I swear Dowd said that they played tactically bad.
That's what I said. I said Alisson fucked up.
I'll be interested in listening to this back.
You're getting me confused with a delirious Liverpool fan.
Nah, Dowd, you said they played bad tactically. I'm pretty sure. We can listen to it at the very beginning.
Rewind this now. But yeah, no. So Jeff, I'm glad you agree with me because from what I can see, 3-4-3 would be lovely to watch. I don't think Klopp is that type of manager to experiment that much. But at this moment in time, with how this team is going, I maybe even the players want to have a little bit of a change. I don't know how Fabinho and Jordan Henderson feel like playing at the back, while some of their defenders are sitting on the bench, and they must be thinking like, "How are man? Like, get us out there, man! I actually know how to defend." Let's talk about Man City because I thought was Phil Foden is Phil Foden now the new Wayne Rooney?
Nah,
I mean,
come on, man. I think everyone's forgetting. Yeah, I think everyone's forgetting how amazing Wayne Rooney was when he first burst onto the scene as a 16-year-old. I mean, Foden is a quality youngster, but come on, to get to Wayne Rooney's level,
you can't see that, man.
Can't. I mean, if he gets, he's not. I don't say he's far off because it's hard to compare the two players. One was a striker off the bat, one's a creative midfielder, can play in the middle and on the wing. But he's definitely looking like a real talent for Man City, and it's kind of unfair, like, that they lose David Silva and then they just get Phil Foden straight away. Like, what kind of luck is that? It kind of reminds me of like Barcelona of like 10 years ago, where they seem to have like a wonder kid coming out of La Masia, like on a, conveyor belt almost, or like Ajax, how it happens. But yeah, I mean, quality player was the difference in the end. Like the goal that he made, was it for Gundogan second, I think, was just when you absolutely ran past Robertson like he's some average fullback and not one of the best left backs in the world. Absolutely quality, man. And excited to see him, what he does in an England shirt as well, at the Euros, if that goes ahead.
It was interesting how Man City used him, because when Dowd before mentioned about Fabinho and Henderson sick of defending, I mean, they probably are to an extent, but you would think that because they're two non-traditional centre-backs, that Guardiola was going to stick Jesus up front, and get a striker in there dealing, with his movement and against two players who are familiar with that position. But what he did was he fielded no striker, sort of a false nine, and he tasked Foden with literally appearing in any pocket he wants. Foden was on the right wing at one point. He was dropping deep as a false nine. He was on the left at one point. And I think what it ended up doing for Fabinho and Henderson was that they didn't have a marking assignment that they could familiarise themselves with. They were like constantly looking, am I supposed to be stepping forward to meet him? Am I supposed to be dropping back to see if there's any runs in behind that he's going to make? So it was like a really, like what Pep did was, okay, Liverpool onto their full strength. They're not using two traditional centre-backs, and I'm going to confuse the hell out of them. And it worked really, really well. And obviously, Sterling driving forward at them caused them issues, because that's how they won the penalty as well. So it was really good tactics from Guardiola. Sometimes you don't need a traditional striker.
That's what I said as well. Exactly. I just give credit to Guardiola. Last season he didn't do as well as he should have, and this season you just come back on top like a lion. This is competition at its best. And unfortunately, top two dogs are Man City and Liverpool. And even though Manchester United are above Liverpool, they're never in a title race, unfortunately, are they?
Yeah, I mean, this was the title decider, as they said, right? Like, this was the...
Yeah, you know what I mean?
This was a title six-pointer between a team in fourth and a team in first, which is quite, I guess, rare to say, because, like you say, I mean, despite everything that's happened this season, it's looked like just Liverpool and Man City, no matter which other team you look at. And Manchester United...
They lose to Sheffield United at home. That's one result. I mean, at least they had the decency to lose to them away, not home. They can't even defend the deep set piece against Everton to see out a home win as well.
I've said it.
No, shout out Maguire.
I've said it from day one. I've said it from day one. Maguire, Lindelof are no. What I'm trying to say is mediocre. These are mediocre players. They're not Manchester United type of players. You know what I mean? What we need to do is that Van Dijk type of signing, and that's where we'll actually start being title contenders. We're nowhere near to be title contenders at the moment.
No, let's just get back to Man City. Does this victory over Liverpool finally put them as, like the front runners? Like, it's theirs to lose now for the title sort of thing.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Now it's the race for fourth. Who can be second, third, and fourth? Because there's too many teams vying for that position, and they're all viable. I
mean, Man City are still chasing the like white whale in that Champions League trophy, right? And they're still in that competition, and that's coming back, and we'll touch on that later. But do you reckon that they might lose focus a bit? I mean, they're trying to keep their eyes on two prizes, whereas Liverpool now can focus all their energy into one competition, because let's be honest, they're good enough to make top four no matter what happens, despite their injuries, and maybe they'll go for another, I want to say miracle because they deserve to win it, but another like historic Champions League run and end up winning the whole thing. Whereas Man City might falter. I mean, they're not looking.
Man City are bottlers in the Champions League.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, their team, even though they're impressive and their back line is looking better than it was a couple of seasons ago, I feel like as a whole they're still not as impressive. So do you not see there's any, like, do any of you guys see any possibility that Man City, not being a bit premature about their title aspirations, do you reckon they still have it within them to falter a little bit?
Man City have a game in hand as well, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And I mean, they could obviously lose.
Yeah.
It'll still be a comfortable 5-point gap. I think the reason I back them to win it is because nobody else can rival them in depth. And this is a season where depth has mattered more than ever, like with the truncated schedules and COVID effect and everything. So Man City are definitely the best well-equipped team to deal with it. And I feel like it's already showed itself throughout the season, really. Because they had a rocky start. And I remember, to be honest, they drew and lost a few games at the beginning. And everyone sort of thought, Man City aren't even a title threat this year. They thought it'll be Liverpool again. And then the Van Dijk injury happened in the Merseyside derby. Man City started quietly picking up form, and now, what is it, 14 wins in a row in all competitions?
Yeah.
That just, you don't win 14 wins in a row in all competitions unless you had the depth to deal with those thick and fast coming games. So I think they will build up a comfortable enough lead that they will focus on the Champions League properly. Whether they win the Champions League or not is a totally different discussion. There's got so many different factors to consider, but I don't see them throwing the league title away even from this position. I wouldn't hope so.
Yeah, I agree. I think this season, especially like you say, depth is everything, and when you have, the resources they do and the depth that they have, yeah, I mean, anyone but Manchester United, and I'll be happy as a Toon fan. I'll be honest.
Definitely.
I am a bit gutted though. I am a bit gutted that Liverpool are a bit depleted and they're not able to give us the customary title runs that we're kind of used to. I know Man City didn't do it last season, but I was kind of hoping we'd return a bit to the 18-19 season of that. Unbelievable. Like as a neutral, watching that title run was so fun. I was kind of hoping for it again, but looks like we're probably not going to get it.
To be honest, if Liverpool could magically have Van Dijk, Gomez, and who's the third one, Matip, available tomorrow for the rest of the season, I would back them to still pull off a title challenge, genuinely. You know how much of a difference putting them defenders back in and putting the midfielders in their correct positions would make?
Yeah, it makes such a difference. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel bad for Klopp, man. I know that people are mocking him these days, saying he's a sore loser, and it may well be true that he kind of goes off on it in the interviews. But it's
By the way, yeah, he is a sore loser though, Jaffa. He is. Whoop-de-doo. Who wants to lose? Tell me.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to lose.
His excuses are funny, but what can you do? I mean, he is going to be upset. I mean, Guardiola is just a sore loser. All the great managers are. I mean, look at Mourinho. That guy is the sorest loser of all time.
Mourinho's the biggest loser in the world. He'll whinge over my hair's turning grey, so I lost or something. You know what I mean? The best people in the world, but the winners of this world, they don't want to lose, and that's it.
And by the way, it's not just the winners, because one time, Pardew blamed the Newcastle loss on the Notting Hill Carnival. So, even mediocre managers can come up with excuses for defeats if they really want to dig deep. It's definitely something that Newcastle fans haven't forgotten. But just to get back to Man City as well, another aspect of their team I think we should discuss is the Ruben Diaz effect, because last year their defense it wasn't horrendous, but in the way that Van Dijk changed Liverpool's defensive outlook completely, I don't think Diaz has had quite such the same level of impact, but it's still been such an important signing, hasn't it, to kind of shore up their defensive line.
Oh, unbelievable, 100%, yeah.
What is it? They've conceded 3 goals in the last 13 games or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's been unbelievable. I don't think he had the same...
His partnership with John Stones has helped, though.
I know
give credit to John Stones when it's due.
Yeah, we need to talk about John Stones, because he was a bit of a joke, wasn't he, last year? Everyone was thinking he was done and he'll leave Man City, and he's revitalised his career out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, credit where credit's due, right? I mean, that guy, like you say, turned into a bit of a meme, and £50 million spent on him. He was supposed to be the talisman for the future, the one that was going to replace Company. Because I mean, how many seasons has he been at City now? At least four.
He was there at the first when Guardiola came in.
So quite a while now, and then he
four seasons now.
He dipped off a bit, and he stuck his rolled up his sleeves and put his head down and just kept working. And now look at him; he's clearly reinvented himself.
Should be the first choice centre back for England, John Stones, at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
The way he's playing at the moment, yeah.
And who else really is an English centre back that's doing better than him on form? No one at all.
Not at all, yeah. And Cancelo, by the way, I feel like Cancelo doesn't get the props he deserves. He's been playing phenomenally well.
I feel like this is a common thing in Guardiola's time at Man City, where he takes so long easing players into his system, into the team, that at the start of the signing, people will write those players off, and then at one point it'll just all click, and then somehow they become such an important team for the player for the team in that system, and people will go back and say, "Oh, Guardiola was right the whole time." Cancelo was one. I remember Riyad Mahrez, when he first signed, he wasn't doing well, and then all of a sudden last season he was one of the more important players. Same thing with what's his name, Foden, where people were saying he's not getting enough minutes, and Guardiola was like, he's the most talented player I've ever coached, and people were saying, "Oh, well, he's so talented, you're not even playing him." But now look at Foden flying high. So yeah, Cancelo's I feel like is another example of that, and he's doing amazing this season. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that stat that came out with his heat map average for the season. I know Dowd will love that one, where he's like a fullback, but he's literally had his entire heat map is orange, even in the opposition's boxes, in his own box, opposite wings. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to look beyond them, isn't it, for the title at the moment? In terms of projecting the winner of a different competition, let's get into our Champions League predictions with that competition just around the corner. So on the first two fixtures that will kick us off are on Tuesday, the 16th of February, and you've got two very high-profile games. The first one being Barcelona against PSG, and it's the home leg in the Camp Nou for Barcelona. And the other one is Leipzig against Liverpool. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ali, but is that match not set to go ahead in a neutral venue?
It's going to be played at the Puskás Arena in Budapest.
Yeah, so
that's where it's going to be played.
So I wonder how that's going to...
So yeah.
Does that mean that both legs will be played at neutral venues, or is it just that one for now?
No, just that particular fixture. It's just because Germany aren't allowing anyone from England to come in due to the COVID variant coming from the UK.
Right, all right, but Leipzig will be allowed into the UK.
Yeah.
Oof, that's pretty harsh.
Oh, interesting.
They lose their home advantage, if you can call it one without any fans. But getting into the predictions, do you guys want to talk about the matches as a two-legged tie or just the match that's coming up?
I mean, let's discuss the tie, right? Why not? I mean, what do you guys...
It's going to be goals.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You reckon?
That's it.
Liverpool these days, it's anything but goals. I feel like Leipzig will be, will probably, hating that fixture when it was first announced. I mean, even it was announced after Van Dijk's injury, but Liverpool still weren't in the rut they are now. I mean, Liverpool in the Champions League, though, are a different animal. They're like the English Real Madrid, right? I mean, when it comes to the Champions League, you just never write them off. So, yeah, Leipzig, I don't think Leipzig are in the hottest form themselves. If I had to, put put any money on it, I would still back Liverpool to win the tie. Maybe they'll lose the first leg or not win the first leg. But I still back them to win the
last
tie.
time these two coaches, Kadama, met, it was with Hoffenheim and Liverpool playing in the Champions League qualification, and that game was crazy. You know, I remember Alexander-Arnold getting his first goal from that game. Was it a free kick? In Hoffenheim. Yeah, it was a free kick. Yeah, that was the one. And that game was just nuts. It got me high and fumes. My blood pressure's going up and down. I was like, what the heck? And I was on dialysis at the time, and I was like, frickin' heck, this game's going to kill me. It's just going to be high pressure pressing football, and it's going to be a game for the fans. And you know what? And what's going on with the world, I think that's what the fans need, entertaining game just to keep them going.
I feel like the crucial player is going to be Diego Jota, though. Like, if he comes back and fully fit, he can get Liverpool firing. But I feel like Firmino, I've got no faith in Firmino anymore. Like, as a neutral, I don't watch his every minute, so I'm not going to pretend that I know his game inside out. But I just feel like he looks a step below the Salah and Mane standard at the moment. So I feel like Diego Jota coming in and making his impact that he's been making all season so far, it'll be very critical for Liverpool to win this tie.
But you see, I see that with Mane. I don't think Mane's been on form either, though. I don't think Firmino's been as bad. Firmino doesn't contribute to the goals as he should, but Mane just hasn't been there.
I would agree with that.
What's the issue?
Yeah.
What's going on with him?
Like, he doesn't play the right passes. He dribbles the ball the wrong place and all sorts. I just don't think he's on form. Firmino's been actually okay. He's just been getting a lot of pressure from the Liverpool fans. That's obviously my opinion, and Salah's just the quality player he has been trying to help Liverpool get out of this struggle.
Yeah, I mean, say what you want about Salah, but he's maintained his standards completely, hasn't he? As far as the
whole debate of who's better, Salah or Mane. People like, oh yeah, Salah gets all the hypes, and Mane, he's the underground king and whatnot. Like, nah, man, Salah is a world class player. He hasn't got the best first touch sometimes, but the guy knows where the net is. Yeah. And Mane, he might be losing a bit of confidence. Maybe it's be exhaustion as well.
Last week we were talking about how exquisite his touch was when Shaqiri had passed it a long ball up to him and he scored that.
Yeah, the game against West Ham.
Yeah, that was a lovely touch and a goal.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is people are giving Firmino a lot of stick. I'm thinking, Firmino hasn't been as bad as Mane, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree.
How do you think Leipzig going to do? Obviously with their high pressing attacking football, with their forward line. Obviously you don't have Werner there anymore.
No, they don't.
I just want to know how it's going to go, really.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched much of them this season, I'll be honest. The German League's probably the least one I watch outside of the Premier League.
But in the Champions League, we did watch them against Manchester United and PSG. I just want to know what your opinion was from there.
No, I mean, they look, like you say, it's going to be goals, right? I mean, they're a team that emphasises their attacking output way more than their defensive stability, even though their defence is still really solid with Upamecano and Kune and the likes, and Angelino as well, ex-City player, really good defence. But I think they've scored like 10 goals in the last 3 games when I was checking their stats.
Yeah, I want to ask now this. Like, you watch Leipzig play Manchester United twice. Obviously, Manchester United thrashed them 5-0 once, from what I remember. And the other time, obviously, Man United lost the game to Leipzig. And it was a very close game, even though Manchester United did lose. Where do you think Liverpool can exploit Leipzig from, obviously, that fixture? With both fixtures, really.
Well, to be honest with you, I think it's all up in the air with obviously the injuries with Liverpool, but with Leipzig, it's full strength and Liverpool full strength. It would be a lovely game to watch in terms of two attacking teams, very high pressing intensity teams, a lot of spaces opening up because they both have a high line of defense. Leipzig are doing pretty all right in the Bundesliga at the moment. The second, I think, 7 points off from top. Like Kadama said, I think they have scored about 10 goals in the last 3 games. They're playing pretty well, considering where Liverpool might be when they do approach them. I don't know. I think it's going to be more of a tactical affair than their normal. Let both of their front three at each other's defences and see where it goes. I think in this case, Klopp will be a lot more reserved, and Nagelsmann will be a lot more astute with his tactics and how he's going to exploit the obvious concerns with the back four. Yeah.
One more fixture on the Tuesday, which is Barcelona PSG, and everyone knows about the 6-1, but I feel like there's actually a bit more of a relevant subtext with this game, which is the fact that when Messi wanted to leave PSG, there's been a lot of noise about. When Messi wanted to leave Barcelona, there's been a lot of noise about PSG courting him, and now people are calling Barcelona and PSG disrespectful to one another because there's a lot of public airing of these rumours. And obviously with Barcelona's finances and with Messi's contract pretty much displayed to the world the other week, there's going to be even more scrutiny on him this year. Oh, you're paying this guy this much to bottle the Champions League every year, sort of thing. So it's a match that at full strength I would probably back PSG, to be honest. But you've got now Pochettino effect. It's no longer Thomas Tuchel's PSG, so there's going to be maybe a new dynamic there. How do you guys see this one going?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, when the draw was made, I said PSG, but now I'm not so sure. I think those teams are a lot more even than they were at the time the draw was made. You also have to remember that this fixture now has become sort of a modern-day classic, or a modern-day, I don't want to say derby, but a mini rivalry in the Champions League. Like, it all started probably when, the 6-1, the remontada, and then Neymar moving to PSG, and they've met each other in the Champions League after that, I think, I'm pretty sure. It's become like sort of a Champions League modern day classic. So there's a lot of recent history behind it. But yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, Barcelona have one player, Lionel Messi, and if he turns up, he's going to be the difference maker. Barcelona are looking better recently. They've had their rocky patches. One thing under Koeman is that they seem to be quite streaky. One week they'll look like they've, for a couple of weeks they'll look like they're finally, making progress under the Dutchman, and then the next couple of weeks they'll falter and they'll look like back to their slow, very low intensity, no pressing kind of football that they kind of got used to under Valverde and Setien. But I mean, if Messi turns up, then there's no stopping them at the Camp Nou. They're always the favourite. So I think this match will probably go to Barcelona, and then if they've managed to get over their away mentality in the Champions League, then I can see them winning the tie. Yeah, I can't see them winning the tie.
I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
I see happening.
Why is that?
Go on,
No, I just wanted to ask Ali, why does he not see? What is his reasoning behind seeing PSG as the outright favourites here?
Barcelona have been flopping in the Champions League, first of all. Secondly, you got Poch, who has his alliance to the other side there, Catalan, and nowhere near Barcelona. Doesn't like Barcelona. I just think all the confidence is with PSG. Yeah, but Messi can turn up, but will you want to turn up? Is the motivation there? It's those certain things. I just don't see it. I could just see PSG wanting in that Champions League, and they'll be determined to get that.
Honestly, I think it's going
Fair
to
enough.
mirror what's been happening in recent years. I feel like Barcelona's going to like have a 3-0 victory at home, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh my, they've turned the corner." And then PSG are going to smash them in the away leg with Messi having a stinker and Barcelona playing tragically bad, and the same memes are going to keep rolling. I feel like under Koeman, Barcelona don't look to me as a team that's escaped those kind of those vulnerabilities that they've been showing ever since kind of Valverde came in, and even though Valverde was always steady in the league, the Champions League decline started under him. So
Do you not see that? Did you not see like kind of like any progress in the recent Copa del Rey tie when they overturned the 2-0 deficit against Granada away from home?
Yeah, I mean that's Granada first of all.
Yeah, but it's Granada. Come on,
It was
man.
it was a very impressive performance from Barcelona, but that's Granada. It's a different kettle of fish to PSG.
No, but the things they can take from that game, though, you know, like the fact that they did come back in a cup tie with 20 minutes left. I mean, that points to some form of, you know, progress under Koeman in terms of their mentality as a team that's, you know, looking to
Nah, you know,
fight.
I've never been one for when the pundits say that like, oh, they played well in their last games, that side of a turnaround, because you have to consider the context, who they're playing, what competition it's in, what's on the line. Just because you made a comeback against Granada does not all of a sudden say that I'm going to be confident when you go to the Parc des Princes and play PSG away. I still think they're going to struggle in that one. Daud, what's your thoughts on this fixture?
Yeah, you know, I'm with Kadam on this one. I think PSG and Barcelona this time around a lot more even. And I don't know if Poch has actually imprinted his way of wanting
Style.
PSG to work, his style, let's say, and that might be to the detriment of them actually seeing out the game. These are elite teams playing with an elite level of tactics, and I feel like that inexperience, especially against a team like Barcelona, will hamper it, and I think Barcelona will nick it.
Yeah, I mean, let's see wait and see what happens with this one. The other two fixtures on the Wednesday, you've got Porto against Juve and Sevilla against Dortmund, and I feel like, is it fair for me to say to the group that everyone's going to back Juve against Porto?
I could see the first leg maybe go to Porto, maybe it's 1 or 2-1. I could see Juventus win the whole tie, but I'm just saying that could happen, and they could go back to the Allianz Stadium and Juventus would just give a ass whopper where Ronaldo will just go a hat-trick, go and that's it.
No, I can definitely see. I can't really see it any other way, to be honest with you. Porto, I mean, yeah, they're a good team in recent years. They've shown some fight about them in the Champions League, but really, it's. I feel like it's a bit of a cut and dry game, really.
I feel like Pirlo couldn't have asked for a better fixture to have his Champions League knockout stage debut in it. Like Porto aren't even the best team in Portugal this year. I think it's Sporting Club who are top of the league by 6 points as well. So it's all signs definitely point to Juventus for me. But when you talk about the Ronaldo factor in the Champions League knockout, this guy, as soon as he sees the Champions League knockout, he sees at least like 10 or 11 goals. He's always going to get them. It's just an insane player, so I can't really see it going any other way. But I'll be interested to see if Ali's right about Porto winning the first leg for sure. All right, not too much needs to be said on that one, I think. Well, this one's a lot more interesting to me, Sevilla against Dortmund, because when this fixture first came out, I remember when we talked about the Champions League draw, we were saying about, it all depends on what the factors are like at the time. So now we know that Sevilla are in an absolute incredible run of form. Everyone on their team is clicking. They've got harmony and stability with Lopetegui. It's been something that's been, a long-term project coming good. Whereas Dortmund, they got rid of Lucien Favre and they've got a caretaker boss in charge who's getting inconsistent results, to say the least. They've got no chance at the Bundesliga title. They've still got some phenomenal talent in that 11. But is that phenomenal talent enough to overcome a Sevilla team that seems to be so in sync at the moment?
It's a good tie to see that. Yeah, you're right. Dortmund have been very hit and miss recently.
More missed than hit, really. More missed than hit.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. And I was watching the match against Freiburg, and I don't know. It just seems like something's lacking. They've got all the stars that you'd want. You've got all the youngsters that you're thinking that are developing under you, and going towards a direction of, becoming an actual complete player instead of,
They've also got the experience there as well.
They've got the experience, especially at the back, yeah, definitely.
And on the front with Marco Reus.
Well, yeah, sorry, Marco Reus as well.
Apparently, he's been one of the worst performers for the team in recent weeks.
Yeah, but that's with injuries, catch up and whatnot, though. So what can you do there?
But nonetheless, though, it's their other players as well that they've got. So, Sancho still hasn't really been playing as great as he should be. Jude Bellingham, here and there, and I'm more interested in the English. Gio Reyna, he's been all right as well. These are the players that the outlets that they want, that they need firing, or cementing their games. And I don't know about you guys, but Dahoud doesn't. Whenever I see him play, he seems like a good player, but he's not. He never really fulfills the role that he needs to be consistently.
He's very similar to Emre Can, if I'm honest with you, and he's also on that Dortmund side.
Yeah,
the two are similar players.
Yeah. And I think that's where the problem is for them. But nonetheless, I think in this case, I genuinely believe Sevilla will have more of a fighting chance than Dortmund will, just because of the run. The last 5 games in the league, they've lost 3 games and drawn.
I'm going to actually disagree with you and say I'm going to back Dortmund for the entirety of the tie. I feel like, yes, Dortmund are in a very bad run of form. They're looking a bit lost out there, but it's a knockout competition. And for me, when you have a goal scorer like Haaland on your team, that can be all you need to turn the tie around. I mean, let's be honest, Sevilla are the stronger team going into this, but I doubt we'll be able, I doubt you're going to see, Sevilla steamroll Dortmund. So when Dortmund have, the attacking talent that they do, all they need is really good 15 minutes. I mean, you've seen it all the time in the Champions League. That's all you need sometimes, a good 15, 20 minutes. And, you've grabbed the tie and turned it on it, flipped it on its head. So I'm going to say it's going to be closer than people think, in spite of Dortmund's recent form. I'm going to back Dortmund to have the attacking power to get more goals. I mean, simple as that. Football's a simple game. I feel like Dortmund will just simply score more. I know Sevilla have unbelievable attacking talent, and Messi just won La Liga Player of the Month, but they have had Ocampos out now, injury, he's going to miss the game. I feel like it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
I'm sure.
What you think, Jaff?
I feel like I'm going to back Sevilla, and I feel like Yusuf Nesiri is in such a rich vein of form that he's the potential match winner as well. But I like the fact that we're disagreeing on this one, because it's going to make it a lot more interesting when we look out for the results and watch the games. So yeah, let's see who gets vindicated on the Sevilla Dortmund scoreline, and we'll see how Liverpool go. Best of luck for Ali, for his team, to see that they can salvage something out of the season for him to enjoy. Because even Newcastle look like they're in a nicer place in terms of the mood of the fan base at the moment than a team like Liverpool, which I never thought I'd say when the season first started, or even 3 weeks ago, to be honest with you. But yeah, I haven't got too much else to add onto that one, unless you guys have got anything else to say.
No, I'm just glad the Champions League is back, to be honest.
All right, Daud, always would like to leave this last bit to you to wrap us up in terms of the socials, please.
Yeah, so as always, we're on YouTube, The Dressing Room, where we post weekly roundups of our previous episodes there. Also, to find out when we've posted our episode, and you want to be the first to hear when we have, sign up to our Facebook group, The Dressing Room. And we've also on all major hosting platforms for podcasts. And also let us know about today's podcast. We've used a different program today. We're trying to get more tech savvy to try and be more COVID secure as well. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for this week's episode.
Cheers,
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye bye.